Hey guys, we're gonna do something, well, not really different, but I'm gonna review a collected edition of After the Fall. I believe issues 1, 2, 4, or 5 from Magnetic Press. It's a post-apocalyptic story, and I thought to myself, "Hey, the art looks good, story looks fun. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna buy it." So I bought it, and yeah. Let's dive in. So, I hope I can show everything because this is a very big one. This is a hardcover. Anyway, so it's 96 years, it says here, after the fall, but I just looked it up at the website of Magnetic Press. It says 116 years after the fall. Well, that's not correct because it says here 96. So it's not a big deal, but I wanted to point it out how disconnected all the things is. Anyway, just skipping. So we see a guy, and these guys are hunting for food, and the people are reverting back to the old ways. Like barbarians, and there's no technology and yada yada. You know the whole spiel when it's post-apocalyptic, and I don't mind that. I mean, actually, it's fun. It's normal. Well, quote unquote normal. That stuff like that happens when technology is not working anymore and people are dead, most of them. So and then we meet the protagonist of this comics called Giala, but she doesn't introduce herself as Giala because I have to read it somewhere else to find out what her name is. And she is, carrying the kids of other people, and this dude likes her and stuff. Okay. Moving on. And then they get agreed by people, and they have to defend themselves. And it actually looks cool, and the art looks cool, and this guy wants to kill them, but he asks him to put the babies down because he's not, that kind of a monster. But actually he is. So the mother, wants to be tough and attacks this dude, and then she's getting her head lopped off in a very gruesome way. And she's relatively calm about the things that just transpired. And so these people are taking, try to get away. And I must say that the biggest problem when I love the art, by the way, but the faces, they all look the same. This is a grown woman, and it looks exactly like this little kid. So they putting the little kid into a building, and then one of the dudes fall into the building. The building is collapsing, and there are snakes coming in, and she says, "Well, we have to get the kids out, or they die." But they cannot do anything because they are being, how do you say? They are being kidnapped by these, I believe, slavers. And can I show you something? Okay, well, I'm skipping a few bits. And and this is the head honcho of these group of people with the headset. And we come a little bit back to later to that. And then she explains that there are people from beyond the city, merciless men who have no women, so they steal them from the other tribes. And when they finish with them, they travel farther to find more. I don't get that. What do you mean with finish with them? I mean, if there are not much women around, the whole world doesn't. I mean, you have to be more careful with them, right? So what do you mean with finished? Are you going to eat them or what? Procreate them? I don't know. Anyway, so, and also look at this. All these women walk the same walk. Look at this. All the left foot or leg is putting forward, which looks stupid. Not sure why the artist did that. And I noticed that, so this is more of a criticism. I talk about more. I'm going to criticize more of this book, But what I noticed that I think that the writer wants to explain you something, but the artist doesn't know how to translate that. Also vice versa. So So, oh yeah. By the way, this is in the future, and I must say the city looks pretty clean for a post-apocalyptic world. There's no rubble, there's no destroyed buildings, or not much anyway. So maybe that's deliberate. I'm not sure, but it feels weird. So and then they're getting attacked by this giant lizard, and I thought to myself, yeah, that's great. So yeah, there's a lot of animals and mutants over there. So the lizard are gonna kill people left and right, and it looks great. It looks gruesome, and then the protagonist is fleeing. But then, okay, I'm gonna show you. So suddenly it's a couple of hours later, and she's just walking in the middle of the street in daylight, and there's a big stinky spider coming out, hunting after her, which is also really weird to me because that is not really spiderly behavior. I mean, the spider just, if they attack, they are just more in trees or maybe in this case a building with webs, etc. They don't walk in the middle of the streets. I mean, not that I know of, but maybe this is a different kind of spider. And then, so she flees from it, and then she just loses him. How? How did you lose it? How does the spider lose her? He's just behind her. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, by the way, the spider, this whole scene never appears again. The spider is now gone forever in this whole book. So I'm not sure why did you put this in there. Just for me, it's just a waste of space with no extra, layers or context. It just doesn't feel right. Anyway, speaking of, we going back to the kidnappers, and then they I said, wait a minute, where's the lizard? And then this guy says the bitch managed to snag your headset while you were busy with the lizard. Gotta say, it's been a while since we've seen a beast like that. So wait a minute. So you're saying you are done with the lizard? But what happened to the lizard? Why don't we see that? I mean, we see here the lizard coming and he's tearing through people, and it looks absolutely great. But what happened afterwards? Did you kill it? Are the people missing? Did your buddies are they hurt? Where are they? Where is there's no people limping or wounded or something? No, nothing. It's done. So the lizard is gone. You don't see him again ever. That's bad. Wow, why don't you show me? So so the whole thing with the headset is coming a little bit back, and then by the way, she's getting attacked by a tiger, and then the tiger's now sleeping because these two guys was saving her, and they are getting introduced to another tribe of mutants, and it's explained that. Yeah, well, they are all people from different tribes, and then when their powers manifested, or their mutations manifested, or they are just outcast, they are, find each other and grouping together. That's the whole deal, and it reveals that this guy is actually dead. So it seems that after the fall, he just woke up in his grave, decaying, and he's just a zombie. And all of these people are mutants somehow. And then the girl says, "Well, I have to go back to my clan. Those are kidnapped because there are little kids in the building that has to be saved." Okay, wait a minute, but you have been kidnapped. I don't know, many hours ago. So probably the kids are now dead because of the snakes. That I mentioned earlier. And by the way, this looks like he's coming from an anime, with the blocky eyebrows and the beard and the mustache. And so there's some weird attempts at humor that doesn't land. And so this old guy says, well, maybe the sorcerer can help you. I said, well, who is the sorcerer? So they are going to a tower and the tower is in the middle of the town, and the sorcerer is up there. So more strange stuff, by the way. So this woman is getting, attacked or, being kidnapped. That's probably the wrong word, but attacked by this giant bird. This guy shoots him out of the air, and she, probably almost broke a leg or something. She can't walk, And then this guy called Irvin, takes her away. And then we see, oh man, this is the bird. He's gonna attack. Yeah. So I turn the page, and so we see the girl, the redhead, and they found an entrance inside of the building. And then we have Irvin with the girl carrying her inside. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a bird behind you. What happened to the bird? We don't know. So the bird is gone. Again, just like the lizard and the spider. What the hell? And so they go up to the stairs, but they say, well, I'm an old guy and these people cannot do it, and this woman is hurt. So you stay here and we go on top. Okay, that's okay. So Irvin and what's her name? Giala is going up, and then we see another useless page because we see these two going up and going up and going up and going up, and then they are at the end. Why? You could show 2-3 pages of panels and that's enough. Why waste a lot of... Okay, so, and then they knock on the door, and he says, come in. And he says, I was in the middle of a cleaning. Right. And again, the art looks really great, except for the facial expressions, which sucks. And then this guy who looks like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z, oh, by the way, the bird is back, and it seems that he trained this bird and it's very docile. So yeah, it's back. So she said, hey, I need to go back to my tribe. Can you help me? Well, and then he says, I should be able to help you. Do you have any reference points to identify your tribe's neighborhood? And then she says, I remember a huge statue of a man carrying a help under her arm. So, okay, wait a minute. So you living in an area for I don't know how long, and you maybe remember there is possibly a statue, although you've been living there for I don't know many years, many months, for a very long time. Maybe you grew up there, and then you maybe remember a statue. What? Anyway, so he gives her a map, and because Irving says, well, there is one guy that can read the map because he. Anyway, moving on. So they're going down, and this old man says, well, I cannot read the map. Show you where to go on the map. How do you expect you to do that? Well, and they think because he was old, he can read the map. And he revealed, yeah, well, I came from the world before, but I was only 6 years old, so I cannot read the map. Also, another stupid stuff. So they come just back from the stairs, right? And then they say, so we can go soon. Just give us a few minutes to catch our breath. What do you mean, catch your breath? You just walk down the stairs. These people are waiting here for possibly, I don't know, a half an hour, and maybe an hour or so. Why do you need to catch your breath? What? Why? That doesn't make any sense. You just came from the stairs. Don't tell me you're tired. Anyway, so nobody can read the map except for the dead guy, the zombie. So he's going out and he apparently can read the map. There's no explanation. And then I love this scene, by the way. So he puts on the headset, pulls out a record from Joy Division, by the way. It says here in mirrors. And then, Canon, more product placement. And he enjoy the music. I like that. And then, so they're going to I don't know, train station on the ground, and to get to the place that they need to go for the children, who is, in my opinion, probably are dead for a very long time because nobody is there. And then we switch to this guy, it's called the Prophet with the headset, who doesn't have a headset anymore. And he asked her, the wizard, to come down, and the wizard explained, well, I gave them a map to the location, and it seems that these two know each other because, spoiler, they are brothers. Yeah. So he says, why did he tell you where she's going? He either thought it, I believe, his red herring, or because he doesn't give a shit. Who knows with that old fool. So, and then, okay. So these guys have a head start, right? But then when they want to come out of the underground train station, these guys are already there. How? How did they catch up with that? And how did they know which exit that they should have took? I cannot. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. How do they know which exit they exiting? Oh man, this doesn't make any sense. Did they? I cannot get even out of my words. I mean, did they have a Uber? Did they took an Uber or something? So they're gonna battle these guys, and action looks great, and art looks great, and the lightning lighting looks great, and we see some powers here, and I mean I love this bit with the little girl just. Remember Fist of the North Star? Or was that probably a too old reference? When guys, their heads popped out when the protagonist, used his psionic powers. Looks cool. So the prophet is getting his ass handed to him by Irving. By the way, Irving has a shield, but he never uses it. Ever. So they are back at the camp, and the girl just walks into the area that she'd been kidnapped to, and then the little girl uses her psionic powers, and then the kids are out, or they are perfectly safe, and the little kid says, "Yes, we fought off the snakes and ate what we could find, but the babies are hungry." So, well, good job. I mean, there was no sense of urgency at all with the whole kid saving. I mean, it's now dark. Jesus Christ. So the prophet explains that he needs to get his headset back. And Irvin said, why is the headset so important? And then we see a flashback because he explained that, the wizard is his brother, and that he came before the fall. I said, what? How is that possible? And then we go back to the most interesting thing of the whole comic. It seems that these brothers, he's an inventor and he is a military guy, financing all of the stuff. And he, I don't know, attacks him out of nowhere because he said something triggering. Everything is fine. Out of context, by the way, not sure. And then a little girl comes in, and the little girl says, what are you doing? You're too old to fight. You always say we're not supposed to fight unless we have a good reason, Daddy. And then they stop fighting and they are basically making it up. And then it's revealed that Martin, who is the wizard, explains that his invention could use for, other means like multiple applications, space propulsion, long distance communication, maybe even teleportation and time travel someday. I thought to myself, wow, this is interesting. I want to know more. So then they are going to the compound, and this is the weapon in question, the apparatus. It's called Ratio, the weapon of the future. Stupid name. And what can it do? Well, the military is here. They want to have a demonstration. And the military, and he explains to the military, imagine you are tracking an enemy, a terrorist on a mountain thousands of miles here. Ratio lets you render him harmless while not necessarily killing him, or, destroying a building, or a car that is, being deactivated from all across the country, which is cool. So they're going to do a demonstration. And but then one of these military guys says, how do we know it's not an illusion or a trick? Can you make the Jeep explode? Yeah, sure, we can make it explode. And then that's exactly what they are doing. And then they are demonstrate some more. But then they say, hey, we're going to use these headphones because it transmit counter frequencies, because it's all about, let me explain it real quick, what they are saying about how the tech works. A little quick. A subsonic vibrations, low sound frequencies, and electromagnetic impulses. Something like that. But then something goes wrong, and skipping a few pages, and then we see, very cool, people dying, the world is exploding, everything broken, and it goes all across the world. And then Irving says, well, now that he has his headset, he wants to, do it all over again, probably killing what's left of humanity. So they decide to make a stand and go with the prophet to stop his brother, because his brother wants to go back in time because he lost his wife and his daughter Anna, and so that's probably what he's going to do. So they go on a journey. I'm skipping a few pages. Boring. And then Irving says, "Oh wait, you know what? I'm going to distract this creature." And again, looks great, looks fantastic. But again, with all of the others, we don't know how it ends because, hey, we skip to this, and that's the end of Irving, except for one page. So Master Roshi, that's how I call him, wants to, he repaired the ratio, and he wants to, basically go back in time and before the fall happens, and restore humanity. And he says, "I can fix it. I can see Julie and Anna again. You want me to pass up that opportunity? Absurd." And then the girl says, Giala says, "Please stop. I don't want to die either." And she said, "You won't notice a thing. Everything was as it was before." Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you that because of the explosions, the brothers are now immortal. They cannot age. So that's a not new layer that I find interesting, but there's nothing, they do nothing with that at all. So so he says, "Well, everything will be as it was before." But then the girl says, "But I didn't exist before." And then, the prophet and Master Roshi are having a fight. And, he loses. And then the girl says, "You're going to kill each other? You won't. You won. What's the point of fighting?" And then she says, look at his face, "My grandmother always said that you should never fight unless you have a good reason." Oh, wait a minute. And he says, "What?" And she repeats it. And she said, "That's what my grandmother used to say. She learned it from her father." "What was her name?" And she says, "Anna." And then he cries. And that's becoming full circle. I think, okay, that's cool. So now what? You're going to rebuild the world, right? So we have an epilogue and a lot of talking and maybe, I don't know, fighting monsters or something. No. So we have only one page left. So Irving comes in and he says, "Hey, everybody, everything is all right now." He said, "What happens?" "Something for good, I think." And here's the bird. And that's the end of the book. That's the end of the book. There's nothing left. So he cries, they stop fighting. That's the end of the book. This is bad. This is incredibly bad writing. Why? There's Anna of this girl here. She has no personality. She's just a cardboard. She's crying about kids the whole time that are not even her own kids. There's no empathy. There's no connection with her and the kids at all. The only interesting thing is the thing with the brothers, that they become immortal, that they are, responsible for the fall. But, all these side characters, useless. There's no explanation. They tried, and I like some bits in here, and the art is great, but overall, no. This is bad. This is so bad. And what happened to the spider? What happened to the lizard? What happened to the fight with the bird? We don't see any of that. What a waste of my time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. Give me a like, share my video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. See you next time.